Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Marketplace Cares, a show dedicated to highlighting the extraordinary men and women of Marketplace Sotheby's International Realty. Really excited for today's episode because I have a very special guest, Aviva Jaffee. Hi Aviva, thanks for joining us today.
Hey Tracy.
And what's really cool, and actually I have to say, Aviva was actually kind of the inspiration for the show. We were just talking offline yesterday about it. And, you know, Aviva was posting these really cool time-lapse videos of all the artwork she's been doing since we've been shelter in place. And she would do these time-lapse videos and post them on Instagram and Facebook. And I think a lot of us were like, whoa, that girl is crazy talented. And I mean, I've always known you were talented, but I didn't know you had that artistic bone in your body. So it's been really cool to see that. And so, you know, I do think you've been an inspiration for the show to start this because, you know, we work with each other and we get to know each other in a certain capacity, but you get to see all those hidden talents of your friends and your colleagues. And I just think it's really cool to be able to highlight and showcase those things. So I felt like today was an appropriate time to do this because it's right on the heels of the last Marketplace episode 4, if you haven't seen it yet, that I did with Barry Long. And we talked about how to keep a positive mindset, not only now during shelter in place and the global pandemic and all that it is coronavirus, but also just in general. If we weren't in a global pandemic, how do you keep a positive mindset, positive mental attitude, stay happy? And there were like 5 tips and tricks that he mentioned in terms of being able to keep that. And one of them was finding your passion and doing the things that make you happy. And I think fair to say, would you say that your artwork has been kind of a secret passion that has really been brought to light because of all of this?
I think so. I was actually thinking about it earlier. I think that art has always been a way for me to express whatever emotions I'm feeling. And I think that with shelter in place, when I started painting or sharing my paintings on social media when shelter in place first started. And I think it started because I was super anxious and I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what to do. So I'm just going to do this. And I did. And I ended up sharing some stuff on social media just for fun. I like using Instagram and Facebook. And a lot of people started reacting to them and messaging me. And so I kind of started a little shop gallery with requests. So here I am.
A home gallery.
Yep.
Yeah, it's actually your time-lapse videos have become, I really look forward to seeing them every time you post them. They're like super therapeutic and satisfying, like especially when you're painting within you kind of do like a rough outline of a drawing and then you'll paint in. It's just very satisfying to watch that.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah, no, your work has been incredible. And it's actually kind of turning into a little bit of more than just a hobby or a passion, but a little bit of a business.
Yeah,
too, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. I think that part of it also was none of us knew what the real estate market was going to look like. We weren't sure if we were going to be an essential business or not. And I just kind of had a moment of panic and I was like, I need to figure out.
I need a contingency plan.
Like I need a backup. And then all of my friends started coming in with requests. So yeah, it kind of turned into a little mini business and I enjoy doing it. It's fun. It's relaxing.
So during this time especially, it sounds like, you know, the art has been a way to not control something, but to have control when everything else kind of feels out of control. What has doing this art, what has that done for you mentally?
It's definitely the most relaxing thing I can think about doing. Just because like you said, I have full control of what happens on the paper, everything like that. And I think that it's just something that gets my mind off of everything else that's happening and all the other things that are stressful right now. So I'm trying to focus on some good things and take control of what I can do during this time. So that's been really helpful.
Where do you get your inspiration from? I mean, I know people can come to you with specific requests and commission you to do certain things, but if you're painting just for yourself, just for fun, what inspires you?
Ooh, it kind of depends. I started off by looking at Google Images and just typing acrylic painting ideas because I work with all acrylics and just seeing what they have on there and either following along to a YouTube tutorial. But I'll be honest with you, if it's like an hour-long tutorial, I get lost.
Ain't no one got time for that.
No, I have nowhere else to be right now, but like I don't have time for that.
Yeah, so, I don't think either one of us have the attention span for that.
No, so I like to just follow along for a little bit and then kind of figure out, yeah, I got this. Okay. Swoop it aside and just fiddle around with colors and things like that. So that's kind of how I started coming up with the inspo and just grabbing pieces from different images I've seen and putting them all together.
How long have you been doing art in general?
Art like this since I guess early March. But I've always been an artistic person. I had a teacher when I was in elementary school. She was an art teacher and she was just amazing. And I always think about her when I do a lot of art.
I love that.
Yeah, so I've always been an artistic person. I went to film school before getting into real estate. So I like creativity and artwork. So it's just always been a little part of me. It was just not something I ever thought about really sharing openly with people. So it was my, now everybody knows about it.
I love that, because to know you is to love you in that sense of that you're not probably the one that I would imagine splashing that vulnerability out for all to see typically. So the fact that you are willing to share that with us and share this talent that you have, which there's undeniable talent. I mean, you are just so incredibly talented. Your work has been, Aviva actually sent me a picture of a car piece that she just did. It was like a BMW. And I legit thought it was a picture of the car. Like the lighting on it was so perfect. It took me a second to realize that was actually your painting and not a photograph of it. So you're so immensely talented. And we thank you for sharing. You know, it's like these contributions, and that's why I wanted to highlight you as part of the show. These contributions don't have to be one specific thing or look one specific way. Just even being able, especially you did this very early on in the whole, shelter in place situation. Just even be able to like look at the art and see that it clearly makes you happy, made us happy, and it makes us happy. Yeah, and so that's a contribution. You know what I mean? You're bringing light and joy and art to an otherwise uncertain situation. So thank you for opening yourself up in that vulnerable way and sharing that with us, because I know that's a big deal for you.
Well, of course. And that was also another thing that I'm trying to focus on positive things right now, just like you and Barry were talking about. And one thing that I've noticed is that all of my friends during this time have shown all of their hidden talents. And I'm like, what? I didn't know this about you. So I think it's really cool that people, with this time that we finally have to just be at home, I think it's really awesome to see what people do on their own time. And I like your cooking videos. Those are fun. When you set your fire alarm off and stuff.
Oh gosh, yeah, it's a daily occurrence. My whole neighborhood knows when I'm cooking. Yeah, and again, that's what inspired me to do this. I wanted to take it on a much larger scale of like community support, but honestly, the idea was spurred on from talking with Jackie, and we're talking about her mask that she was making. And I said, yeah, it's been really cool to see these hidden talents of our colleagues, like Aviva with her painting and you with your sewing skills. And she said, well, actually, I didn't even know how to sew. I taught myself how to sew. And I thought, oh my God, like people need to know about this. And people need to know that, and this leads actually as a perfect segue into my next thought or plan is in this conversation, is that you're a self-taught artist. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I would say so. I definitely learned by doing. So, I mean, I watched a decent amount of videos or just kind of went with what I thought was supposed to happen and just hope for the best. And I'm slowly learning along the way. And it's been fun.
Well, I think you're immensely talented. Would you be willing to kind of show us a couple pieces of your art that you have handy? I see a beautiful tropical piece right behind you.
Sure. It's too bad I did a really big Griffith Memorial or Griffith Observatory one, and I don't.
We need to talk about that. We need to talk about that one. We will be putting a picture of that one up because that one is beyond.
Oh, thank you. So this one is for a girl that I met in high school. She lived in Hawaii for a long time, and she wants a little piece to remind her of home. You can see that I've drawn in some other leaves.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Oh, that's gorgeous. I can't wait to see the finished product on that.
Yeah, so that's
so
a
talented.
fun one. This one was actually, I'll share this one. This one was one of my first paintings that I did. I think I did this one just for fun almost 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was just
so good.
One day I was kind of like, I just feel like painting. Probably again, a time where I was feeling a little anxious about something. And this one was really fun. I enjoy doing silhouette paintings.
Oh, okay.
You said that you like this one in
Oh,
particular.
love
My
this
jellyfish.
one. I love that one. I love any of your seascapes and just the color and the lines and yeah,
I like
that's
vibrant colors. Um, oh, and I have one more here. I'll show you. So this one is a Hamsa, which is usually a symbol of good luck. And this is for a friend of mine. She likes to call herself a hippie. So she said, put hippie vibes. And I think I did okay.
There you go. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So that kind of leads me to my next thing is that, yes, you've done a lot of work for your friends, but I mean, if anyone's seeing this interview, are you available to, by request, to commission any art from you? And
yeah, for
that's something
sure.
you're open to?
Yeah, it's something that's just it's fun for me. I enjoy doing it. So if somebody has, something in particular, for example, the Griffith Observatory that my friend sent.
And that was a beast.
That one was a hard one. I threw myself into the deep end, but sometimes you have to. But I appreciate all inspiration. I just like to add my own twist to it because that's kind of how artists work. We all have different ideas.
Yeah, Aviva did this 3-part Griffith Observatory, and it was like 3 large canvases, and it was black with like kind of a neon scape, almost of like yellows and oranges and pinks and blues, I think maybe in there.
Yeah, so it was actually a picture that my friend had sent me that he took of the Griffith Observatory, and I'm not sure if maybe it was Pride Week or something, but it had rainbow lights.
Oh, okay. That's where that was coming from.
So
okay.
That's where it comes from, yeah.
Oh, that's super cool. But yeah, I mean, it was just large, and I think you like had to maybe start it over a couple different times, but it was like geometrically so precise across these 3. And it just, we'll put a picture up. We'll do probably either like a carousel, slideshow or a collage of all your work because it's too vibrant and phenomenal not to share with everybody. But that one was, I would say that so far has been a masterpiece of yours.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, so if anyone's interested, I mean, if you would like to commission Aviva for a piece of artwork, her contact information is just down below. So it sounds like we have the go-ahead to reach out to you if anyone's interested for that. And also offline, we were talking about, I think a lot of this in doing these types of shows is I do like to tie it to some sort of community support or charitable contribution in some way. And I had made a private request offline for Aviva to see if she'd be willing to donate to a charitable contribution that's near and dear to my heart. It's the Friends of FSH, dedicated to raising money for research for FSH, which is a form of muscular dystrophy that impacts my family. And Aviva graciously agreed to donate one of her works of art. So we'll collaborate that, on that a little bit later. But thank you very much from my family and from all the Friends of FSH. We really appreciate your support.
Yeah, and that's also, muscular dystrophy is also something close to my heart as well. So that was another reason. But I'm happy to do any sort of charity work for any organization. It's fun for me. So
yeah, well, I love and appreciate you. So thanks. Cool. Well, yeah, thank you so much for being on today. And again, for sharing your vulnerability and just sharing that very personal part of yourself, because I don't know if you really comprehend and understand the joy that it's brought to a lot of us to be able to just see that. So hopefully you'll continue putting out those time-lapse videos. They're really satisfying to watch.
Just for you.
Yay, thank you. Well, Aviva, thank you again so much for being on. Again, this is another episode of Marketplace Cares. I'm Tracy Fisher. This is Aviva Jaffee. And we'll just, as long as we can, we'll continue to bring you episodes just highlighting the extraordinary men and women of Marketplace Sotheby's International Realty. So,
Awesome.
All right. Well, thanks Aviva.
Tracy.
Okay. Bye.